BlueTipz Android users, whether you're a new customer or an existing user, we definitely want you to take a look at this video just so you have all of your settings set accordingly. So when you receive your BlueTipz transmitter and or receiver, the receiver is not required, you would head to the Play Store and you would search for BlueTipz. It's the app at the top there, and that's a logo you're going to be searching for, and it's by Deep Freeze. You're going to want to install that. Now, I already have it installed, so upon clicking for the first time, you're going to see a notification pop up that says location permission required. We want to click OK there, and we want to click while using the app. On older phones, you may not have this option, but if you do see these three options, you want to click while using the app. This will allow our Bluetooth to be used appropriately. We also want to, of course, allow notifications. And we want to disable battery optimizations because we want to use that battery as much as we need to make our alerts be reliable. So disable optimizations, and this is sort of part of the same question. Stop optimizing battery usage, allow. Now, if we ever wanted to see those settings again, we would pull down from the top of our screen. This is your phone's settings menu. Click the gear wheel in the upper right corner. Apps, BlueTipz. And here we can verify these settings. So if you're an existing user and you want to see that this is how you have them set, this is a place to do it. So notifications are allowed at the top. Permissions, location, only while app is in use. That's perfect. Everything else is denied now. Camera, microphone, and storage, but that's completely fine. And let's see our battery down at the bottom there. Optimize battery usage, not optimized. And allow background activity, can't be changed, and it's enabled. So that's great. That's exactly what we need. Now we're going to head back to the BlueTipz app. Click on. That's our scanning button in the center of the screen. When it reads off, scanning is not on. When it reads on, scanning is active, and the bottom navigation bar will actually turn orange as well. So now if we tipped up a transmitter, we're going to see that alert come through. Tip up on transmitter. By default, they're named transmitter. So if we want a louder tone, we'd click in the upper left corner of the settings gear wheel, tones and alerts. Global notification tone, you can see under there it's default. We're going to change it to something loud. Let's select boat horn. Select at the bottom. We can test the alert. There we go. Nice loud alert there. So now if we tip up our transmitter, and now let's try naming this. So you would name it by clicking bottom left corner, My Devices, add a transmitter. So we're going to tip it up. Add transmitter was the plus sign in the upper right corner. We're going to call this test. Done, done. Home. Now we're going to tip that up. Tip up on test with a loud bolt horn. So that's perfect. So this is sort of how you get started. It's not required to name your transmitters, but you can if you want to. If you're on a crowded lake, that can be a very effective way to filter out other BlueTipz users. So then you'd click over to My Devices there, and you'd only be monitoring for your transmitters saved in the My Devices list. Otherwise, you can monitor for all. And you can see that if we get rid of this transmitter, remove device, yes, home, and we try and toggle over to My Devices, it won't allow us because we don't have anything saved in there. Working our way to the right in the navigation bar, we have Program. That would be for if you want to change the trigger angle or change the color of the LED. Some of these things are only available on newer transmitters, and we will tell you that within the app if yours is or isn't compatible with some of those changes. The fish log, this is where it's going to ask for photo access. We'll say OK, we'll say allow. This is where it shows your log of catches or alerts. You can save a photo to those as well so you can see the picture of your fish. Device info, that's where we would obtain information from our transmitter or receiver. Again, they have to be compatible with it. But with the newer versions, you can read the battery life on your transmitter, and you can also see if your LED is enabled, so on and so forth, other settings like that. Last thing I want to mention is the no receiver connected. Tap to pair at the top of this screen. If you do have a receiver, it is not required to pair it. It will automatically communicate with your app. Pairing simply means that on these newer versions of receivers, 2021 and after, every 15 minutes, the app will report, or I'm sorry, the receiver will report its battery life remaining in the ambient temperature wherever the receiver is. So it's a good way to verify that your receiver is still online and that it's listening for transmitters. When you don't use that, it's still active, but if your batteries happen to die and it turned off, you would never know. But again, no big deal. You do not need to be paired. You just need to realize that's what pairing the receiver does. Again, not required. And we can actually get rid of that message up there if we go to settings and click hide receiver on home screen. Now we'll go back and you can see that that message is no longer there. So that's it. Your next test would be to put your phone to sleep for a couple minutes and then tip up a transmitter and make sure the alerts are coming through. That's the most robust test, is when your phone is sleeping. It's like the real life, real lake scenario when a tip up would go off if your phone is sleeping, and you want to make sure that that alert comes through. So make sure your scanning is turned on here on the main screen. That's about it. If you have any questions, they can be sent to info@deepfreezefishing.com and we will take care of you. Thanks, guys.